Look at that. It's about damn time they released the volume 2 of that 465 train. Oh, I remember those trains in my day. It brings a tear to my eye when I think of them. Hello there, folks. I am Yawwie. You may notice that a lot has changed. I am now 84 years old, have a lovely wife, children and grandchildren, and I still play Tram Simulator.
Train Simulator.
Huh? What's that, Sonny Jim?
Train Simulator.
Train Simulator? Never heard of it. Oh, I can't believe it took an entire lifetime for them to release this. Hopefully the new generation of melons can enjoy this bit of history more than I can. I don't think I have that much time left. But I suppose one last review wouldn't hurt. It's been a very long time since I last reviewed something, so I might sound a little rusty. Okay, Gary, you're the introduction. Gary? Oh yeah, he's dead. Sad times.
Thanks for the lift, mate. Oh, sorry about that, lads. I just got back from seeing the future, so I could get myself a copy of Volume 2. But yes, after what felt like an eternity, Armstrong Underpants released the Hitachi motors. You heard me. We waited almost 2 years for a few extra liveries, and this sound. Not that we need to wait that long in the first place, but now that both volumes are out, I can finally find out how terrible this enhancement pack really is, and whether I feel like committing arson by the end of this video. Plus, you know the drill, since networkers are one of my favourite electric units, I am yet again going to be extremely critical. But first, a little bit of history. The Class 465 is a networker. That's all it says. Is this all you wrote for me, Gary? The trains came in 3 batches. The Dash 0 and Dash 1 built by Brell and ABB, and the Dash 2 built by Metro Camel. There was also a Dash 3 demonstrator unit for the Class 365 proposal, but it was renumbered 465-037 after its use. And in 2005, 34 Dash 2 units were refurbished and reclassified to 465-9 units, featuring new interiors, as well as the addition of
peasant class on this train.
Did you just ask me if we get peasant class on this train?
Aye aye sir,
What poppycock are you speaking?
Then of course, I can't forget the 466. Right, regarding their traction, the Brell and ABB units were originally equipped with motors from Brush Traction. However, it wasn't until 2009 when the trains were refitted with newer Hitachi developed inverters for improving their reliability, which is what we hear today. The Metcam units on the other hand retained their motors, but at the same time, all trains had their rear static braking disabled for the same reasons. Though that could all possibly change, wink wink. And that's why the pack was split into 2 volumes, because for some reason they couldn't have recorded the Hitachi sound sooner so that we didn't have to wait this bloody long for the second pack, or if I'm being completely honest, so that 2 volumes weren't even necessary in the first place. Who am I kidding though? It's the AP we're on about. Bearing in mind they also used that god-awful default Metcam model from 2013 as the base requirement, which at first you may think looks really convincing, until you compare it to the actual thing. Because, you know, the windows are too short plus the wrong shape, the entire side profile is off, there isn't enough yellow around the edges of the front, the doors are wrong, the front cowling is the wrong shape, this bit doesn't come down far enough, the interior is horrible, the aircon vents look weird, the underframes are too short, and the intermediate cars disappear from a distance. Like, it is genuinely an awful model, but I suppose I can't argue with the fact that it's still miles better than... oh Lord have mercy. Hence why they went with the older one instead, which is fair enough I guess. Though a newer model would have been preferred. Anyway, I will admit though that I really like the external modifications made to the model to also make it seem like a Brell/ABB unit. It's obviously not perfect due to the model's limitations, but the intricate details are a nice touch regardless, courtesy of George again from Guter Barn Studios. He could have remodeled the Metcam specific anti-climb steps too though, as well as perhaps new interior views, like come on. So most of the 465 visuals are nice, but unfortunately I can't really say the same for the Class 466, as it doesn't seem to have a toilet. I mean, this is probably another limitation since the consist is literally only the 465 driving cars back to back, but it could have at least covered up the area or something. Oh well. Moving on to liveries, you pretty much get every operator livery that the 465 has ever worn from the 90s to present day. With Volume 1 you get NSC and all Connex liveries, and with Volume 2 you get all Southeastern livery variations ranging from 2009 onwards. The liveries are fine, however I've already spotted a few missing small details. Like for instance, this, and this, and this, and this, and not again. They also forgot how Dash 9s have slightly different interiors to the other subclasses, but we'll just pretend we never noticed that. Yep, don't worry mate, nothing to see here, moving along now. Looking at the rest of the features, which are the exact same ones from the Class 365 EP, there's driver-only operation, an accelerometer display and digital clock, changeable destinations including additional route code numbers as featured in Volume 1, which I love using for some reason, and finally, wheel slip protection. And yes, that is actually where all those wheel slip sounds you hear originate from, thanks to this man over here. Good stuff. Fantastic! Let's set up this thing and give it a spin then, shall we? Hang on. Is this what I think it... Oh no. They didn't. Gary, could you give me some space for a second? And this is why the East Coast Main Line is also a requirement, because instead of deciding to model a new cab, they just ripped the one from the 365 because of its better visuals and functionality according to their bits and bobs, which is just a whole load of wrong. I mean, yeah, it may have better functionality, but plum, it is not a 465 cab. I don't remember 465s having buttons for raising the pantograph. Am I in a parallel world or something? We need the ultimate experience here, AP. Not a lousy Happy Meal. Such bloody excuses. All this complaining is giving me a headache. Maybe the sounds could help cheer me up. Because who doesn't love the sound of a networker? They couldn't have cocked those up too, right? Okay, maybe I was wrong. Now, just as a quick reminder, networkers have 3 different types of traction. Brush, Hitachi, and... close enough. Volume 1 features brush motors, and Volume 2 features the newer Hitachi motors, with Metcam sounds featuring in both volumes. And instead of going through each sound individually as that will waste time, I'm just going to quickly summarise how the motor sounds are overall before I go into more detail. And the truth is, they're average. Firstly, the Metcam motors, which are horrible. I mean, yes, it may sound accurate, and I did actually like them at first, but my god, how flat did they make those recordings sound? Then after 25 miles an hour, it just does not sound like that. In real life, you can still hear the motor changing through phases at those speeds, but in game, all you hear is a screech. Even the physics don't help with how the motors sound. In fact, let me quickly compare the sound to the real thing, but each time the motor changes phase, the colour of the screen will also change. And of course, they just reverse the acceleration sounds for the dynamic braking, which again is wrong. But, you know, it is pretty hard to find a Metcam unit with dynamic braking enabled these days, so I'll regrettably give that a pass for now. Next, the Hitachi motors, which I think sound better than the Metcam ones, but still mediocre. The initial whine is absolutely spot on, but then as it picks up speed, honestly, the sounds were so close, but they had to rush it all together, didn't they? I mean, you can barely even hear the motor beyond the speed of 30. Don't know about you, but I can still faintly hear the motor at those speeds in real life. It's obscured by the sounds of the bogies, but it's still noticeable. Plus another thing, have a listen to the motor cutting off power. I mean, I hate to be the really picky one here, but the whine cuts out too early. I say that because you can normally hear the whine drop all the way down in pitch when power is cut. Not to mention that the dynamic braking sounds on this are also... Sorry. Lastly, the brush motors, which are... No, Gary, that's not what I'm on about! Great, I gotta start that again now. The brush motors, in my opinion, sound the best out of the bunch, with my only gripe being the motor phasing, which does sound a little off when you slam the throttle into notch 4. Also, the external motor sounds aren't actually external motor sounds, hence why it's so quiet. However, considering they dug those sounds from archive recordings, I don't think they did too bad of a job. Oh yeah, and all the other sounds such as the pressure vents, auxiliaries, compressors and doors are fine. I don't have any issues with them, though the Metcam compressor is... recycled and wrong. Regarding the variation of the run sounds, they're okay, but could have been better personally. Plus, I just noticed something. They missed out that distinctive sound of the powered bogies rattling on the brow units. How could they miss that off? Also, why did they recycle that overused rail grind sound again? Like, just scrap it already. You've used that bloody sound more than enough times. Oh! Do I need to make a list? This, and this. Need I say more? Heck, even the old soundback had better run sounds than this in my opinion. Anyway, yeah. Sounds a meh. That is all. I did end up wasting time there, didn't I? In conclusion, would I recommend this enhancement pack? Yeah. The good thing about it is it does provide a massive variety of areas you could drive the train in, which is great for things like scenario creation. But would I recommend the price? Feck off! Hell no! And yes, that was actually the total price of this pack if you also include Volume 1, the discount, and the rest of the requirements for this to even function properly. Not to mention that if you already own the 365 pack, you still don't even get a discount on this despite it having the exact same features. Because screw you, pay full price! AP are so predictable nowadays to the point it's just funny. I mean, just imagine how much worse these packs would have been if George wasn't a part of it. Okay. Alright Gary, that's enough now. Gary! Lastly, before I go, what is it with you lot constantly mentioning me in the comment section of AP videos? I mean, I appreciate the love and all, but come on! Isn't there someone else you could mention other than me? Are my reviews that popular now? That may have come across as horrible, but honestly, I just find it all a bit strange. Oh well, what else do you expect if you have over 4,000 subs? You're all plums. Anyway, I'm sure you've heard enough of this voice, so I'm gonna go. Thank you all very much for watching. Be sure to share your thoughts on this pack in the comments, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.